Hello, all. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to my territory. This is episode 5, and I was just recently asked, both in channel 1 and also from a couple of my guildies, like, is it even possible to do territory war when you're free to play? And the answer is absolutely yes. You have to change how you do things a little bit, but it's totally possible. So this episode is going to be about tips for being a good contributor in territory wars when you're free to play, and things you can do to improve your chances of those wins. And then I'm also going to go over the latest offense that I love, Fire Mom, Tree Pumpkin, and then a water tank. And you know, some days it just feels like they're just really tearing at you in territory wars. Yeah, it sometimes feels brutal, but follow along in this video series and hopefully we can help you get some more wins. Alright, so let's get into this. We're back in my main. My name is Speed. I'm the leader of the Cube Guild. We're one of the top 10 territory war guilds in Element Fission. And, we'll be honest here. Honesty is important. There's the top 5 guilds in territory wars who are amazing. And then there's the next 10 or 15 that are still really good. But when we fight against the top 5, it can be a harder thing. So here's our record from the last 6 territory wars, and you can see we won 3 here and we lost 2, and we lost to the number 1 guild in the game, and then Drazzle is, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry, they're the number 3 guild, and then we had another win on top of that. So we won 4 of our last 6, but when we hit the top 5, we struggle, and it's not really because of gear. I mean, gear helps. It's not really because of elements, because elements help a little, but it's really about activity. So we are recruiting. We want to get some more people into our guild that really want to do territory wars. We have some really competitive players in our guild. We just need a few more so that we can compete with those top 5 guilds. And you don't even have to necessarily know what you're doing right now. That's part of the reason I do this video series, is that we're very happy to educate new people. We just need everyone active. That's the most important thing. Check out our Discord. There'll be a link in the YouTube video description, or chat us up in the game. I'm often in channel 1. So I've had questions recently. How do I contribute to territory wars when I'm kind of new to territory wars? I never did Siege and Summoner's War, things like that. And I have limited monsters, and so there are a number of tips that I have. Someone pulls an exciting monster in channel 1, and then they instantly 6-star it, and they're like, how do I build this for territory wars? And I'm like, well, what team do you want to build? And they're like, I don't know. And teams are much more important than individual monsters. And so there are some things you can do to get ready for territory wars that you can do all the time. So here's my top 5, maybe top 7 tips for what you can do before territory wars even starts. The very first tip is that you need to be farming gear a lot. You need to be spending a lot of time on gear, and most of that time is going to be spent in Boxing Club. Most of the gear you need for territory wars is found in Boxing Club. And then you can supplement from events and other farming from the other dungeons. And really, heavy metal, some of the best gear in there for territory wars are the protect rooms, which provide shields, which can help you prevent cleaves. And then also the zeal gear, which gives you immunity at the start of the battle. Those are the 2 really important gear sets from heavy metal. And then also another gear set that's becoming rapidly more important in territory wars is Corrupt, because people are building a lot of tanky units with a lot of HP. It's really hard to one-shot them, so you need to lower their HP using Corrupt gears, and that's found in Death Lab. So those are the 3 dungeons you really need to farm, and like 80-90% of it's going to be Boxing Club. So that's where you should be spending your time, and then you should be spending most of your time on converters and amplifiers in the Abyss, and almost most of that is just going to be in water. You do need to do fire for heavy metal a little bit. You do need to do tree for death lab gear a little bit, so that you can convert and amplify your gear so you have a much better shot of your units doing damage and surviving. And then early on in Territory Wars, as a free-to-play player, you need to focus on 3 and 4-star units and offenses and defenses that are mostly 3 and 4-star units, because those are much easier to skill up, and skill ups make a very big difference in how units perform in Territory Wars. So you can certainly build a Nat 5 here and there, but your focus should really be on 3 and 4-star units. So if you have a lot of money spent in the game, then you can just keep your gear on the same units and you don't have to worry about dupes. But when you're free to play and you have offenses that work really well against multiple defenses, especially any meta defenses, it can be a good use of your time to build duplicate units of that and then shear the gear. And that'll get you a lot of wins. So there's a defense out there that a lot of guilds are using, even the ones in the top 5. It's the Water Mother, Tree Bear, and then they use either the Fire Hog or the Light Bookworm as a sustain unit. And the reason this defense was very meta when it first came out, nobody knew how to counter it, although that quickly changed. But what happens is that because the Tree Bear starts out with being asleep as soon as the battle starts up, that automatically gives the Water Mom the first turn. And so she gets to attack right away, no matter how fast your team is. So a good counter to this is actually the Fire Mom, the Tree Pumpkin, and then a Water Tank. So this is the offense I really wanted to feature in this video, because this offense deals really well with this defense. So what happens is the Water Mom takes her turn. She attacks Fire Mother, but unless she's built really, really well, she's not going to be able to one-shot the Fire Mother. And then in the case of using the Light Bookworm, that's the only attack she gets. If they use the Fire Hog, then the AI is good enough that the Fire Hog will go next, reboost the Water Mom, and then she'll get a second attack, and she'll go after the Fire Mom again. And so you've got to be able to absorb 2 hits from that. So my Fire Mom is really tanky. She's got a lot of defense and a lot of HP. So even if the Water Mom gets boosted by a Fire Hog, I don't remember the last time she died from that combination. So the Water Mom's going to go, and my Fire Mom's going to tank it, and we're going to watch. So she tanks, she goes back, and then you can see that I use my Tree Pumpkin immediately to ignore defense on the Light Bookworm, who wasn't very tanky. The Water Mom has already done her big attack, and the Tree Bear can do some damage, but it's generally not a one-shot unit. So we're not worried about those units right now. So we're going to go and try to kill off the Light Bookworm. So we get a defense break on her, but then she removes it. Fire Mom. And I just put a shield on the Fire Mom to prevent any more damage from the Water Mom while we're taking out the Light Bookworm. And we're just slowly working things down here. Got another stun from the Water Ironfist, who's a really good tank for a Tree Bear. And so there we go. We just had to wait for the Tree Pumpkin to get its S3 back again. And we killed the Light Bookworm again, and now this defense is done. There's no more sustain. So now it's just a matter of time. And we've got the shield from my Tree Pumpkin and also the sustain from the Water Ironfist to take any hits. And we're just waiting for the Pumpkin's S3 to become available again. And slowly just starting, so my Fire Mom and my Water Ironfist are both on Corrupt, so they both take away a little bit of HP each time. So we're just working on lowering their max HP a little bit, waiting for the Tree Pumpkin to get S3, and now the Tree Pumpkin uses S3. The Water Mom is now gone because she's very rarely built with a lot of HP. She's usually built with a lot of defense and resist. which means the tree pumpkin can take her out. Almost always a one-shot, even if the HP has been decreased by the tree bear. So now the only thing that's left is the 3-on-1 with the tree bear, and the tree bear is going to spend most of his time trying to take out my water Ironfist, which isn't going to happen. Might lower her HP a little bit, although this one actually is not on corrupt, so he's definitely done for. It's just a matter of time. You can see we're taking his HP out. And there we go. We got S3 from the pumpkin again. And that's pretty, this team is, it's not a guaranteed win against this defense, but it almost always works. I think I've lost once, maybe. So really nice offense against this defense that used to be meta. It's kind of fallen off a little bit, but there's still a lot of guilds using it. So when you see that Water Mom, Tree Bear, and either the Fire Hog or the Light Bookworm, or occasionally a third different unit, this team should be able to handle it. And so it's almost an instant win. So those are one of the things you have to learn as a free-to-play player is what are your offenses that counter commonly seen defenses really well so that you have a very high chance of winning. Even if their gear is better than yours or they've got they've got revived gear, because if any of these units had revived gear on, it really wouldn't have mattered. We would have just killed the Bookworm again, or we would have killed the Water Mom again. So I almost forgot to show the gear on the units. And I thought it was rather ironic that I say in this video, focus on 3- and 4-star units, and I have 2 5-star units in the team that I'm showcasing. So follow that logic. But so Fire Mercenary Mother is first. She's the lead in the team because she has a defense lead that helps out. So she's on defense, crit damage, HP. And she isn't always on HP, because if you'll notice, her accuracy is 32, her resistance is 58. Both of those are pretty low. But if I'm going against a different defense where I need more resistance or more accuracy to perform better, then I'll switch out her slot 6 gear. So she's on Bash Corrupt, and she doesn't need to be on Bash. It's just a little bit of an extra chance to stun. And those, since I do a lot of farming of boxing, I have a lot of that gear. So it's a way for me to utilize some Bash gear. Next unit on the team is the Tree Pumpkin. And I have him on double Revenge Fatal, which is not necessarily the ideal set. It's just the set that gave me the most HP, defense, and crit rate, crit damage, and a little bit of resistance. So he does land a defense break with skill 1, which can be helpful, but that's what he's not in this team for. So I don't worry about accuracy on that. So he is on actually speed, crit rate, HP, and he could easily be on HP, crit damage, HP. So Revenge isn't necessarily the best set for him because you don't necessarily want him revenging when he gets hit, especially like by the Tree Bear, or if you're going against a Light Bear. That's not a good idea. But my Revenge gear, here I have a 36% HP, and then this piece of gear had 26% crit damage, which is what allowed me to go on crit rate slot 4 instead of a crit damage, just because I had a couple pieces of Revenge gear that just had really nice stats on it. 24% HP with 21% crit damage. So I will eventually take him off of Revenge because I want to be able to control when he's hitting all the time. But for now, this gear set works pretty well. And so here's the slot 6, which has another 19% crit damage, more defense, more HP, more crit rate, a little bit of resistance. So that's how the Tree Pumpkin is geared up. And the last unit on the team is Water Ironfist, which again does not need to be on Bash. It's just an extra stun chance. And again, I just had some surplus Bash runes. So there are probably some other sets I would want to put her on. So Zeal isn't really that important on the Water Ironfist because she's going to get crit on by the Tree Bear. and that's going to clear the debuffs. So it's just that I had like some decent Zeal gear that made sense, especially since I have her on defense percent for slot 6, because she doesn't have a lot of accuracy. That she's only on 38% accuracy. I'd really like to see her accuracy up around 100%, 120%. Same thing with her resistance. This unit definitely does not need crit rate or crit damage. She's there to tank. So you can see plus 20,000 HP, plus 1,500 defense, a decent amount of speed so that she can cycle. So an alternative to the Water Ironfist is the Water Hog. And now she's not as good. Water Ironfist is just a better tank. But this is one of the... I don't have a dedicated Water Hog for this team. So this is the one I would use, and I'd probably tweak it a little bit. I'd add more defense. She's 181% resistance, so that's good. And she has a mend set on her, which increases her heal. So she's actually a pretty good Water Hog. I like her. Actually, the Water Hog is built for a dungeon right now. Luck rate, HP, resistance. So I would definitely not have her on luck rate if I'm using her in PvP. It would probably be speed. So I just wanted to show you the gear, and now we can wrap up on the commentary. We're almost done. These are just a few examples of things you can do as free-to-play to try to get more wins in territory wars. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment in the YouTube video, or you can join us on Discord. There should be a link to my Discord there. And if you're really looking forward to being strong and active in territory wars, look us up in the Cube Guild and we'll try to get you in. That's it for this video, but there will be more in the future. So until the next video, see ya.